America, God shed His grace on me. Okay. America. That is the name of today's band. Now, we've reacted to Kansas, Boston, Chicago, and I know there are a few bands named after states or cities. To name your band America, I mean, is it just me? Is like maybe band names aren't a big deal. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. But I would think if you named your band after America, I mean, you better not have flopped. I mean, to name your band America, like, fam. I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But, like, that's just a lot of weight to carry on your shoulder. To name your band America. Wow. We got to do some research. I want to know who the hell America is. Because, again, to name your band after... Let's just find out. America are a British American rock band. So I'm gonna assume they're saying that because they have a couple of members that's from Britain, from London, and not from America, and they're not even from America. All right. A British American rock band formed in London in 1970 by you. Okay. So they were formed in London. Okay. See, this is why you need to read and shut up, Andrew, and just read. Okay. Formed in London in 1970 by U.S. artists Dewey Bunnell, Dan Peek, and gotta be Jerry Beckley. The trio met as sons of U.S. Air Force personnel stationed in London, where they began performing live. Gotcha. Makes all the sense in the world. So they're in London, but they're all born from American soldiers. Gotcha. Achieving significant popularity in the 1970s, the trio was famous for its close vocal harmonies and light acoustic folk rock sound. The band released a string of hit albums and singles, and many of which found airplay on pop and soft rock stations. The band came together shortly after the members' graduation from high school in the late 1960s. In 1970, Peek joined the band, and they signed a record deal with Warner Brothers. The following year, they released their self-titled debut album, which included the transatlantic hits A Horse with No Name, which is what we react to today, and I Need You. Their second album, Homecoming, in 1972, included the single Ventura Highway. Over the next several years, the band continued to release hit songs including Muskrat Love on Hat Trick, Tin Man and Lonely People on Holiday, and Sister Golden Hair and Daisy Jane on their 1975 record, Hearts. It was also in 1975 when America released History, America's Greatest Hits, a compilation of hit singles which was certified multi-platinum in the United States and Australia. Peek left the group in 1977 and their commercial fortunes declined, though they returned to the top 10 in 1982 with the single You Can Do Magic. The band's final top 40 hit was The Border, which reached number 33 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1983. The group continues to record material and tour regularly. Its 2007 album, Here and Now, was a collaboration with a new generation of musicians who have credited the band as an influence. America won a Grammy Award for Best New Artist and were nominated for Best Pop Vocal Group at the 15th Annual Grammy Awards in 1973. The group was inducted into the Vocal Group Hall of Fame in 2006 and received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2012. Whew, that was a lot. Okay. So basically their run is the 70s. It fell off right at the beginning in 1970, then they fell off after Peak left in 77. But had a couple of hits in the 80s. And yeah. That's pretty damn good. Again, man, I don't think people understand. People really don't know what a flop is. When you have multiple successful albums and you have a run that lasts damn near a decade, that is not a flop. And that's nothing to scoff at. That is very impressive. And yeah, that's really, really good. Don't know why I haven't heard of them, but I'm happy I have now. And we're going to get into this. A Horse with No Name is the name of the song. We see that this was their first big hit, honestly, from their first album. So I'm ready to hear it. We'll do the song research afterwards. Let's go.
Sand and hills and rain. The first thing I met was a fly with a buzz and the sky with no clouds. The heat was hot and the ground was dry, but the air was full of sound. I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain. La 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 la. After 2 days in the desert sun, my skin began to turn red. After 3 days in the desert fun, I was looking at a riverbed, and the story it told of a river that flowed made me sad to think it was dead. You see, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain.
Yeah. So they talked about how their harmonies together is one of the things that I want to make sure I got my settings set up. Right. They talked about how it is. How their harmonies together is kind of like one of their signatures and kind of what they're known for. I really love when they sing together. So I love this approach to the songwriting. It's like he's telling a story, but he's generalizing. Like he's not telling us a story, but he's just kind of like giving us like a portrayal of like a life. And I don't know if this is a cowboy. It looks like from this artwork, it looks like they're in front of Native Americans. So just all around, I'm still piecing the pieces of the puzzle together, but the song itself is almost soothing, and I really love their harmonies together.
After 9 days, I let the horse run free, 'cause the desert had turned to sea. There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rings. The ocean is a desert with its life underground and the perfect disguise above. Under the cities lies a heart made of ground, but the humans will give no love. You see, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain. La, 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 la.
Yeah, I really like their harmonies together. Like, very soothing. Very soothing. Written by Dewey Bunnell, it was released on the Warner Brothers label in late 1971 in Europe and early 1972 in the United States. The song was met with commercial success and top charts in Canada, Finland, and the United States. It was certified gold on March 24th, 1972. The song was quickly added to a re-release of the band's debut studio album, America. The song is a staple of the group's discography and one of their most popular. So wait, I thought this album came out in 1970. Apparently not. It says 1972. Okay. Originally called the Desert Song, Horse was written while the band was staying at the home of musician Arthur Brown near Puddletown, Dorset, England. The first two demos were recorded by Jeff Dexter and Dennis Elliott, which were intended to capture the sensation of the hot, dry desert that had been depicted in the Salvador Dali painting and in a picture by M.C. Escher, which featured a horse. Writer Dewey Bunnell also says he remembered his childhood travels through the Arizona and New Mexico desert when his family lived at Vandenberg Air Force Base. Bunnell has explained that a horse with no name was a metaphor for a vehicle to get away from life's confusion into a quiet, beautiful place. Trying to find a song that would be popular in both the United States and Europe, Warner Brothers was reluctant to release the ballad I Need You as the first single from America. The label asked the band if it had any other material, then arranged for America to record 4 more songs at Morgan's studio in London. A Horse with No Name was released as the featured song on a 3-track single in the United Kingdom, Ireland, France, Italy, and the Netherlands in late 1971. On the release, A Horse with No Name shared an A-side with Everyone I Meet Is From California. Wow, okay. So, I would love to know how often that still happens. In regards to the labels telling artists, yo, we don't want this to be the single. Could you go back and make some more music? Because when I hear a lot of artists today, like in their interviews or whatever, they talk about how they give the music to the label and the label just puts it out. Like there isn't really, ever since I've been doing, research on these bands and these artists, I've just been reading that a lot. The label said, nah, we don't want to put that out. We don't want to do this. Now, I've always known that the label had their hand all over these artists and their decisions and what they do. But I don't know, to just tell an artist, hey, we don't like this, go make something else. I just would love to know how often that happens today, because I don't hear about that a lot. Yeah, at least I don't. But I really like this, man. I really liked it. Oh, controversy. The song's resemblance to some of Neil Young's work aroused some controversy. For example, in his review of A Horse with No Name, Cashbox described America as CSNY sound-alikes. I mean, I guess, but that's a bit of a reach. Yeah, that's a bit of a reach. I can see why they say that, but I would disagree. Yeah, I really enjoyed this, man. Definitely want to hear some more. Their story and how they came about is pretty cool. And this was a good song. I really want to hear more. Yeah, performed well everywhere. It went, they still label it as gold, but it sold 1 million, so we know that's platinum. Platinum in the UK. All right. I want to hear more. Want to learn more about America. I'm not going to lie. When y'all sent me this request, I thought it was a movie. And then I see here, it says, for the 2010 film, See a Horse with No Name. So there's actually a movie called, I don't know why I thought that. But I instantly thought, is this a movie? I did not think a band, but great song, great story. Ready to hear more. Y'all let me know what else from America I need to check out, and I definitely will. All right. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate y'all for watching. Until next time, with America, peace.